adorable aliens, mesmerizing planets, and my excruciating heartburn after eating an entire Taco Bell family meal. When I first heard they were making another Alien movie, my initial reaction was,
"Get away from her, you bitch!"
But a lot of people are saying this is the third best Alien movie after Alien and Aliens. So in this video, we'll be doing a recap of the film and its connection to the Alien franchise. Now let's grab our flutes and venture to a place where no one can hear you scream. Alien Romulus begins with a Weyland-Yutani ship combing the debris of the USCSS Nostromo, the freighter ship from the original Alien film, which Ellen Ripley self-destructed in order to kill the lone xenomorph. They've come in search of this alien after Ripley jettisoned it into space, and it's now created this asteroid-looking cocoon over itself. One of the things Alien Romulus really drives home is how resilient these aliens are. They can survive years in space with literally nothing, which is exactly why Weyland-Yutani wants to study them. Founded in the year 2099, Weyland-Yutani is a large multinational conglomerate that isn't afraid to put its bottom line ahead of its workers. It's important to note that at this time, Ellen Ripley is still floating through space in cryosleep, where she'll eventually be picked up in the year 2179, more than 30 years after the events of Alien Romulus. So Alien Romulus takes place between the original Alien and James Cameron's Aliens. We then shift gears and are introduced to Alien Romulus's main character, Marie Rain Carradine, or Rain for short. Kinda ironic since the Jackson Star mining colony where she was born is constantly raining. This place is an absolute shithole, 65 light years from Earth, a population of under 3,000, and 0 hours of daylight a year. Rain lives on Jackson Star with an android she calls Andy. Andy Android, get it? Her father found him in a dump, and while he has a few screws missing, pardon the pun, Rain sees him as a brother since they grew up together and her parents have died working their asses off in the mines. Rain has reached her 12,000 hour quota working for Weyland-Yutani and is eligible to leave. To put things in perspective, that's almost 4 years of working an 8-hour day every day, and Rain is only 21 years old. So when they tell her the company has doubled her quota to 24,000 hours before she can leave, she is obviously pissed. Being born on Jackson's Star, it has always been Rain's dream to get off planet and see the sun. She even dreams about it. Luckily, her friend Tyler found an opportunity for them to escape. He's discovered an abandoned research vessel above the colony which has several unused cryopods. This would allow their group to make the 9-year journey to Ivago, an Earth-like planet they hope to one day call home. And they need Rain, specifically her android, who would have the proper Weyland-Yutani credentials to operate these pods and access areas of the abandoned Weyland research station. The gang make their way into space aboard the cargo hauler the Corbellin, where Rain gets her first ever view of the sun. She's been on this planet for 21 years, and this is the first time she's ever seen real sunlight. Their ship makes its way to the abandoned Renaissance research station, once run by Weyland-Yutani. It is split into two parts, Romulus and Remus. In Roman mythology, Romulus and Remus were twin brothers and founders of Rome. When they had a disagreement on where to build their city, Romulus, in a fit of rage, killed his own brother. Romulus was a power-hungry builder of empires, and thus the film being called Alien Romulus could be a nod to Weyland-Yutani's own power-hungriness and desire to expand across the universe. Romulus also joins the Alien franchise's long history of naming things after mythological figures, like the ship Prometheus after a Greek titan, the moon Acheron from Aliens named after a river in the Greek underworld, and the USS Auriga from Alien Resurrection after a Greek hero. When they get aboard, there's the fun supplies that the Romulus is expected to crash land into this ring of ice in 36 hours, but no sweat, as Tyler says, they'll be out in 30 minutes. Andy's able to turn on the station's computer mainframe, which is a Mother 9000, a newer version of the same mainframe seen in Alien, which was the 6000 model. He and two others are able to find the cryopods, but they don't have enough fuel in them to last the 9-year journey. Thus, they have to travel to a different part of the ship. On their journey, they uncover a massive massive hole going through the hull, a hole they don't know was caused by the acid blood of the xenomorphs. Of course, the fuel needed for these cryopods are in the same room as these frozen facehuggers. But when this frozen fuel is tampered with, it has the adverse effect of unfreezing these affectionate bastards and locking them all in. Even Andy can't get them out because he needs a higher security clearance. So Rain and another crew member, Navarro, who at this point had just been chilling back in the ship, traverse the dimly lit halls of the Romulus to save their trapped team members. In order to get them out, Rain removes the computer chip from a half-destroyed synthetic, and this synthetic is none other than a duplicate of Ash from the original Alien movie. Weyland-Yutani probably made hundreds of these things. In Romulus, he goes by the name Rook, so that's what I'm going to use going forward. By giving Andy Rook's chip, they're able to open the door and escape, but not before one of the facehuggers latches itself onto Navarro. The crew decide to use this freezing torch device on the facehugger to see if it will release its grasp on Navarro, and to their amazement, it works. But what they don't know is that the facehugger has already implanted its load into her, and that just sounds wrong. Andy's new chip has also upgraded him. He speaks much more fluently, is more intelligent, and even walks different. But this upgrade has also changed his prime directive. Whereas before it was to protect Rain, now it's to do what's best for the company. He knows Navarro has been implanted with an alien, and in order to prevent her from getting her chest burst and a Xeno killing everyone else, he must kill her. This causes a chase with the team splitting up into two groups, one with Navarro who escapes aboard the Corbellin, and Rain, Tyler, and Andy who are stuck on the Romulus. Navarro uses the X-ray torch to see what has been implanted inside her, and unfortunately it's too late. A baby Xeno bursts from her stomach, and with no one to steer the Corbellin, it crashes into the side of the Romulus. A huge fuel tank explodes, and this event will shift the trajectory of the space station, so instead of it taking 30 plus hours for it to crash, it'll now do so in 40 minutes. The Corbellin ends up crash landing into Romulus's hangar, so Rain, Andy, and Tyler must travel all the way over to rescue the team. To reach their friends at the cargo hauler, they must traverse a room filled with facehuggers. So they devise a plan to heat the room to the same temperature as the human body, since facehuggers use sound and heat to find their prey. If the room is the same temperature as their bodies, theoretically they could get by undetected. This turns out to be a terrible plan, as soon they're discovered and have to make a mad dash to safety. Eventually they find Kay. We haven't talked about her. She's one of the team members' sisters who's been hiding the fact that she's pregnant, which becomes a significant plot point later on. She was on the Corbellin with the chestburster who escaped, and that creature has now grown into an adolescent xenomorph. The movie plays fast and loose with how much time it takes for these aliens to evolve. Rook will later explain that these xenomorphs have the ability to slow or quicken their metabolism, which may explain how they're able to grow so fast. So Kay is trapped with one of these aliens stalking her, but when they find her, Andy won't open the door to save her life, as it would risk all their lives doing so. So he decides to let Kay get captured by the alien as the others watch on in horror. Rain, Tyler, and Andy find themselves in the science lab where the true intentions of Weyland-Yutani are revealed. Rook tells them how he synthesized a compound from the parasites found on the Nostromo xenomorph. He calls it a miracle that will help humanity survive the harshness of space. Up until this point, Weyland-Yutani had been struggling with its colonies, humans dying of diseases, toxic fumes, and aliens. So this compound he created would rewrite our DNA, allowing us to bypass years of evolution and give us a much-needed upgrade. The plan now is to escape the ship and take the compound planetside where it can be further refined. At the suggestion of Andy, Tyler and Rain equip themselves with pulse rifles, but they aren't allowed to use them. If the acid blood from the alien hits the hull of the ship, it'll keep going down until it blows a hole directly into space. These guns will only be for show, as the aliens are smart enough to know these guns can kill, and they may act as a deterrent. On their way back to the ship, they find Kay still alive in a sort of cocoon, but she is in grave condition. The only way to save her is to give her part of the compound and put her in cryo until she can get treatment. As they make their escape, Tyler is grabbed by a xenomorph and ripped apart. Andy is knocked aside and starts to malfunction, so Rain grabs the hardly able to move Kay and they escape on the elevator. Now call it bravery or stupidity, but Rain tells Kay to go to the ship while she goes back to save Andy. Upon finding him, she takes out his upgrade chip and he returns to his normal self, with his directive being to protect Rain. But they are soon cornered by xenomorphs with their only course of action to shoot. This is a death sentence, as the acid would blow a hole into space. But Rain is smart. She turns off the artificial gravity and blasts through the xenomorphs, their blood floating in air, unable to breach the hull. Now she just has to work her way through zero gravity, dodging floating piles of xenomorph acid blood. This leads to an awesome elevator shaft sequence where a xenomorph is about to kill Rain until Andy leaps from the shaft and absolutely blows this alien to smithereens. Rain, Andy, and Kay make it back to the ship just in time before the Romulus crash lands into the ring of ice, and in true alien fashion, there's this moment of relief. They've escaped and everything seems fine, but this is short-lived. After being put into cryosleep, Kay, who had taken some of that compound to survive, starts to give birth, and what follows is truly terrifying. Now, there aren't many clips that show what happens in this final act, but she essentially gives birth to a human-xenomorph hybrid. There's this black goo that accompanies it, the same seen in Prometheus that is capable of mutating DNA and creating new life. Kay gives birth to an egg, and inside that egg a human-looking child with jet black eyes, and in a matter of minutes this baby has fully formed into an 8-foot-tall superhuman Xeno. Andy gets his throat slit protecting Rain, and now it's up to her to kill this creature all on her own. She slips into a spacesuit to manually override the cargo release in the hopes of jettisoning the creature out into space. She ties a cord around her suit and kicks the birth egg, which contains acid, and it dissolves through the hull. As it does, it sucks her and the creature out, but Rain is able to hold onto the rope. In the nick of time, she's able to make her way back to the ship and steer it away from the ice ring, with her and Andy the only two to survive. The ending leaves a lot for future movies to build off. She and Andy are in cryosleep with a course set for Ivago. Rain promises that she will fix him. What will happen to these two? Will they make it to Ivago, and what will happen to that compound? And just like the original Alien, Romulus ends with our main character stating in an audio log that she is the last survivor. It's kind of funny, after the end of this movie, we now have two characters floating through space after a battle with the xenomorphs. But let me know what you thought of Alien Romulus. Where does it take place in your ranking of the Alien films? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.